Namaste, hi, welcome to Mira's Voices, DinoinOasis, and Kapi and the Conversations. Kapi, like I always mention, it's something really, really, really close to me. Nothing like a day goes without a cup of a coffee or Kapi for that matter. Kapi and Conversation just started all of a sudden when I was just having a cup of my coffee. I was thinking so much of a conversation keeps happening every day, every moment, every second, and sometimes there is no conversation, there is no one around, but the coffee and just myself, the lots and lots of things happen. I think we all of us need that kind of a pause, that kind of a break sometime in our life to just to think about, to ponder about what we are doing. But we shouldn't be just living in that pause alone, because that pause and that space is where we get lots of ideas, or we kind of create something, or we don't do something else also. It's just kind of a refreshing, and then we get on to the work. That's how Kapi and Conversation as a program was born out of my mind. We've been talking to quite a few people. I mean, each and every person whom I come across in my life, I look at their excellences, the uniqueness, what they have, and it's always nice to appreciate about whatever they have, because uniform is something which we can wear only in a school or in a couple of organizations as a norm. But a uniform doesn't define about a character or about a person, because every child, every individual is someone who's behind behind that uniform. And it's very important that we look for the aspects about that person beyond their uniform or the mask. And that's how ideas are born. And today we have a wonderful person. I have been in touch with her for almost 2 years, and it's been a lovely journey. I mean, we just met. I was nominated by her team for one of the award function, and that's where we met. And after that, there has been no look back, and we look forward to creating more such collaborations and working together. That's how in fact, whenever we pick on a call, and anytime, I just dial her number. Something I don't have to check with her. Can I talk to you now? Is this a good time? And she would say, Mira, I have, I always have time for you. And those words, it really means a lot. We might want to create a story, or like so many stories we keep creating, but being part of somebody's story, it has its own meaning. And that's a kind of a position or the value or a position that she has given for me. And it is Dr. R. Lakshmi Priya. Hi, Lakshmi. Welcome to Kapi and Conversations.
Hi, Mira. I don't drink coffee at all, so it's very interesting to be a part of Coffee and Conversation.
All right, I do. I can relate to it. Sometimes it so happens, right? Kapi is a connect. Kapi is something that we associate with. I mean, we not always have that caffeine content in it. Might be you like to have water and conversations. I should be have that also. Okay. So I'm sure the viewers and the listeners, you will definitely relate to how our conversations happen. Lakshmi, I've been traveling with you for quite some time, and it's so nice to see the kind of the work that you are doing. I mean, there are so many people in the market, Lakshmi, who have lots of stories with them, a lot of content with them, and they're looking for people or organization who can help them out, who can walk them through the process. So I'm not going to spill the beans. Please let us know about what you're doing, and yeah, we have lots more to ask you.
I should start here. What I'm doing is what I love to do. I'm basically a creator. I like writing stories. I like illustrating. Sometimes I dabble in poetry. I do a little bit of pottery. So I'm a mixed artist. And when I was a student, I didn't know where to go, where to start, how to make this into a career, because all of this that I mentioned just now are considered to be hobbies. What if I have to turn my hobby of storytelling, narrating into a profession? And that is where Pachyderm Tales came. So it was basically I trying to find an answer for my question that I had in my mind. And then I thought a lot of people around me had similar questions. They were very creative and they didn't know what exactly to do. So Pachyderm Tales is, as a journey, it started there. We do not know where its destination is going to take us, because we have grown so much. We have children's writing for us, we have old people who write for us, and when we meet them, it's so heartwarming. They say that, before I die, I want to publish. And these are things that I didn't think would be a part of Pachyderm Tales when it started. Now what I'm interested in is more than the writer writing the story, the journey of the writer itself. That itself is a wonderful thing, and we have started collecting it. So I think I've answered your question.
Oh my God. Did it sound like a question paper that I shared with you and you just finished the answer and you said, "Ma'am, I'm happy with the answer. Here's my answer sheet." That's so
I'm,
nice.
I'm like segregating 5 mark, 10 mark questions. in my mind.
Sometimes we just see that uniform just coming in front of us. Yeah, definitely it happens. But it's very nice, very nice. So how beautifully you said about it's something that is, I mean, you don't know whether it was a hobby or what it was, but it was an idea that always you had with you. That's how I look at it. First question, Lakshmi, whenever we meet as a child, when we were as a child, or even today for that matter, any adult or elders, when they meet a child, they ask, what are your hobbies? And that's when the child will be like wondering what to say. Might be some children, they're on spot, they'll say, I like to dance. And if you just think it's a question which has been asked in a hall where there are some 30 to 40 children, and the time it reaches the 30th or the 40th child, answers have been taken by the 39 children. I used to be that 40th one because I always used to stumble upon what are my hobbies I didn't understand. Because it's I don't know whether we were tried to being boxed into you should have this as a hobby or something that you just do it and it becomes a hobby. That's something I still have to figure it out. I think might be with yet another coffee and the conversation with myself. And so your hobbies, the way I look at it, yes, it's an idea which you gave birth to, and that idea, sometimes they say it's stillborn, right? I mean, it hurts to listen about stillborn. It also happens with our ideas. I'm glad you didn't let the idea just take its path in a U-turn. So how exactly? I mean, yes, by now our viewers and listeners definitely understand the fact that Pachyderm Tales, they have been assisting, in terms of creating a book. Let's hear it from our founder. Yes, let's hear it from Lakshmi Priya. How Pachyderm? How did that name come? And yeah, I would definitely want you to talk about the logo.
um, Again, as I'll go back to the hobby conversation. That was the problem when it was just hobby. When people were asking us, we always had this bifurcation as to these are certain things that would give me money, that would get me money and make my livelihood. For example, the terminology that we use is profession, like, being a doctor, that and the name that when a teacher comes in the class, they ask, okay, what is your ambition, and then they bifurcate it and then ask, what is your hobby?
Heavy word. I feel like I've swallowed the earth.
No, now I wanted to combine ambition and hobby. So for couple of us, we know it from our childhood that it is not just hobby. It's not just something that we do for time pass. Rather, we do not even understand that the time is passing on. We don't eat, we don't sleep. When we start creating, we can't stop creating, and that is when it becomes a passion. And if we try to do something else other than that, we are not happy in that space. So happiness is one of the most important quotients. How much of money you make, you're not going to be happy until and unless you're happy with what you're doing in your everyday life.
Being in your own skin matters a lot, Lakshmi.
True. And in a way Pachyderm Tales is all of this. It is, as you really put it very beautifully, it's being in your own skin. And that is where Pachyderm came. Pachyderm is something that's giant, that is big. And I was just dabbling with this idea that maybe I have to start something where creators can combine together, they can work together, they can pass on the synergy that they have, they can be motivated, because motivation is one factor. When I start writing, I always feel that you sit at your home, you sit it in you sit in a corner space, and then you start writing. That is when, the cooker whistles, the bell rings. It's
I'm
extremely
just
difficult.
saying, I don't have any of those calling bells or anybody calling out now.
Yeah, and if they come in, they would, and they won't even understand our annoyance. They'll be like, you are just writing, what did I disturb? I wasn't just writing, I am a creator. To put it forth, you need people of like mind, and I wanted those like-minded people to be around, and they them to make money around. So that was the idea. Now, Pachyderm tales basically comes from this. If you go to a temple, you whisper in that Nandi's ears, right? All those secret desires that you have, the wishes that you have, and then somehow we believe that it comes true. Similarly, the elephant logo was something like that for me. It's a magical elephant that I created in my mind very early in my life, because I love elephants. I love everything giant, hippopotamus, rhinoceros. So Pachyderm, that's how Pachyderm came, and it's something that you have a secret desire that you don't tell. Most of the writers whom I work with are housewife, grandparents, children. These people have ambition. They are not real. How do I call it? They are not bestseller writers, or they are amateurs. So they tell their desire to us, and we try to make it come true. That's the journey that we take them through.
Do I say you try becoming, you help them in becoming a bestseller?
I think it's a long way to
It's a
go, and
long way. And also, no, Lakshmi, like sometimes I feel it, I mean, as soon as a person goes about publishing his or her work, they go to Amazon or any of these marketplaces, to refresh and see if their name is there in that top 10. If not top 10, top 50. If not top 50, 100. So it actually kind of gets into the head, the bestseller in first itself is such a big pressure. Like I was telling you, like it's swallowing the entire earth. And to me, like just sharing about my experience, when we talk about bestseller, it was like almost I'm going to eat the universe. That's the task given to me, and I'm supposed to finish that in 1 minute's time.
I think it has more to do with marketing gimmick, the decisions that is made as to who has to be the bestseller. It most of the time, media is not something that we want to consume. It is rather force fed on us without even us knowing it.
Yeah.
Like, the movies that you watch, you do not even know whether you actually want to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Everybody puts it as a status, and then you are forced. Otherwise, you go into this FOMO. Similarly, writing is something like, if you're making it into a livelihood, it means that, okay, this is the amount of money that I need for every month for my livelihood. I can earn it through writing. That's all. It is also about satisfaction. It is also about happiness. That way, that Pachyderm tales can promise you, that Pachyderm tales can give you, but we can't make you into a millionaire or billionaire, because I haven't found the way yet to be that. So I really do not.
I wish you find one soon. I wish you find one soon. So beautifully you shared what you shared, Lakshmi. So see, it's something in aspiration. Aspiration is something. It is not the end game, but it's something which happens like in a penultimate or almost like in the end game for that particular game or for one particular task, whatever we have taken. But what's happening of late is, Lakshmi, um, we look at aspiration to be fulfilled in the first stage itself. We look at it, because the journey is such an important thing, because yeah, today we have so many options to shorten or reduce the kind of a load that we used to take 10 years back. That's not the case now, thanks to the internet, thanks to so many apps that you have, and lots of agencies and consultants who are available just within a few seconds to reduce our task. But the journey is a journey. Any book or an author or a writer needs to travel, because how would you look at this? Because I've come across quite a few people, as soon as the book is published, uh, the tick mark, like, yeah, this is done. Beyond that, there is something called you have to go about marketing, branding, promotions, because that's where most of the people, they have this preconditioning mindset that let your work speak. You should not speak about what you're doing. That is one. And second thing is that we look at, like as we finish the end line in the first stage itself. Haven't you come across such a scenario?
I think it is different for every person we interact. In a day, we get about 400 manuscript. And I think I get time to read about 3 to 4 manuscript in a day maximum. And those 4 or 5 conversations, after that, I ring to the author and I talk to them. First question that I ask most of the people whom I interact is, the very first question would be, why do you want to publish in first place? There should be a reason to publish. And everybody tells a different reason, and depending upon the reason, we think, okay, fine, this person, whatever they want, we can accommodate. Couple of them we cannot accommodate, so we let them go. We tell them, okay, this is there is a better place you can go to, there is a person whom you can approach, we send them away. So I know what are the restrictions in my company at the moment. But when it comes to branding or marketing, again, it completely is a person's choice. um, when earlier times, when Wordsworth or Coleridge were writing, I don't think they were actually worried about whether their book sells or not. They had enough money in with them. They had a estate, they had a beautiful surrounding, they just wrote. They were
Yeah.
aristocrats. On the other hand, when Shakespeare wrote, he was writing purely for money. So but both these people, we consider them, literateurs, we consider them
Definitely.
greatest writers. So I feel that it is completely up to you. You can decide whatever you want and you can take that journey, and nobody is going to judge you or question you as to whether your book sold or whether you became a bestseller author. And all of these are just denominations, nomenclatures, which if
Yeah.
you choose you want to take, you can take. It's like branding. I see a lot of entrepreneurs who do beautiful branding, beautiful marketing. I know they do it in a very creative way. There are a couple of people who do not do anything.
Yeah.
They are something like, word of mouth works out for them. Couple of them have been there for a long time, so they are established. And that itself gives them a heritage. So it works differently from person to person.
Okay. Let me ask you one question. Is there a shortcut to success? And if there is one, what could be its lifetime?
I don't think there is a shortcut to success, because I don't think you can, first of all, define success at all. This is completely from my personal experience. Do you remember when you, since you talked about uniform, do you remember when you were a child, they always said that, you can do these things after you go to 10th standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can take a holiday, or you can go to your party's house, you can watch movies in the summer vacation. So everything, it was like 10th standard, 10th standard, 10th standard. And once you finished your board exam, then it was like 12th standard, then they said it was college, then they said, you have to start earning. And then I don't know where it is going to go according to the societal norms. But then when we live our everyday life, it's like simple things also counts, right? Today I'm giving an interview with Coffee and Conversation, and that's a good thing for me. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so that's a success point for me. Because Mira is considering me. It's these simple recognition starts mattering to you, and then I think it's perpetually being happy after that. So success, I think, should be defined as how happy you are with what you are doing. And again, happiness, it keeps moving. So
It's like a vicious circle, right?
yeah,
Either it's at the top or at the bottom. But I think we have to come back. We have to keep showing up every day, every second to do what we are doing. Okay, let us, because there is one thing, Lakshmi, people actually shy away, or sometimes not always, talking about. Many people offer their services, but when it comes about monetary or the financial thing, they don't think a lot about it. How would you look at it? What would you say?
I didn't get your
Like
question.
financial, like many people, they just do it for the sake of doing it. They enjoy doing what they're doing. But after certain time, what happens, Lakshmi, like that's when they realize they have been so passionate about what they're doing, But when it comes about return on investment, that's where they feel shocked about the time and money. I mean, money they would have invested, but I don't know about what they're getting back.
I think this is a very fantastic question, because again, let me quote from my own example. I don't think earning money and service should go differently. It can go hand in hand. It can be as simple as that. And one another thing in my industry is, imagine you call a plumber, you hire a plumber, you pay them.
Yeah.
You hire an Iron Man, you pay them.
Yes.
But when it comes to a writer or an illustrator or a book designer, they'll be like, can you just do this one? You are just an artist, right? Why can't you just do? I can give you branding. There are beautiful terminologies that they use. They'll say, okay, I'm going to put it there. It is going to be available there. These kind of things. My point is simple. Even if you pay 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees, you pay and then get the job done. With others. When it comes to artists, why it has to be different? Okay, negotiate with us for the money, that is okay. Negotiate, tell that, okay, I can't pay 20,000, I'm going to pay you 10,000. Tell I'm going to pay 5,000. If both of you agree, then it's a proper, because this is a service. It has taken a this is a profession. It has taken a long time for us to be where we are. We are trying to make ourselves every day better. We are taking courses on that. We are spending money. We have to feed ourselves.
Yes.
We have to feed our family. There is so many things that is involved, and so you can't just tell that, okay, give this as a free work, do this for free, because ultimately everybody is benefited by one person's profession, and then yet they don't get paid. I don't think that's a right thing at all. So anybody who is going for service, they need to segregate it until and unless they are going to provide it because they can be a provider. I don't think whatever I do, I can even meagerly connect it to service at all, because whatever I'm doing is not service, it's a complete profession.
Absolutely, nailed it. I think it's important, Lakshmi, that we have to make it clear when we're offering something, it's a value add. And the value add comes in, might be for few things, it comes as a free, but everything cannot be free. Let me, like when you shared about this experience, that's when I was reminded about one small story. A large ship, it got stuck. I mean, it was not, I mean, it was stationed and the engine wasn't working, and there came an engineer who came and tried and fixing it. What he did was he just came with a hammer and he just took it and he just knocked it here and there, and it started working. And it was time for the bill to be paid, and he said it is $10,000. And they were shocked. The company was like, why should we pay you $10,000 just for this hammer, which is like, no, should be what, $1 or $2? Might be less than that or more than that. I'm not sure about that. So then he says, okay, the cost of the hammer could be $1 or $2, but the remaining is the cost of my services and the experiences. If I knocked it at this particular place of the ship, it took me at least 20 to 30 years to know for this huge ship where I should hit for the engine to work. I mean, this is, and I read this long time back, and I don't know, it's just like a calling. And today I was just going through my LinkedIn feeds, and this story came up, and I was like, oh my God, this is a story very close to my heart. And see, it just connected over here. I think things happen for a reason, they say, and I felt that today. Okay, Pachyderm Tales. What are your next plan, or what are the next steps that you're working on?
Pachyderm Tales started with a big dream. It was a dream to connect all the artists together. So that's the motive. We have not even touched the surface yet. We have about 1,100 authors writing with us in this 2 years of journey.
I think you've just gone a little above the top layer. Then you've gone a little above the surface. Okay, fine. I'm sure you might have some numbers in your mind, and 1,000 should be.
Yeah, it's not about numbers. I think more than writers, I want to work with different artists. Find. For me, I'm more interested in fashion. I learned tailoring from my 6th standard, 7th standard. I always thought that is my livelihood. I was going to be a tailor, but then people said that tailoring is not. That's the thing that happens. Tailoring. No, you can't be a tailor.
There is one person I've been following her work. Not even one I have implemented from what she taught. I've been following her work on YouTube for the last 5 years. It's a little more than that also, and she makes a huge amount. She makes a huge amount. What I also understand, I might be right or wrong because that's something I need to verify. She used to take tailoring classes, Lakshmi, but now she doesn't. She just every day she shows up with one hack, like what do you call it as a hackathon, or one cheat sheet, and that video should be for like minimum 5 to maximum 15-20 minutes also. That's it. She shows up and she goes. That's it. I mean, I wouldn't say that's it. It's just the real story of that ship and the engineer, what I was talking about. If she is doing that today, what we miss, Lakshmi, is if the person is here today, what he or she was doing or to get or to be there 10 years back.
That's very true.
Okay, I paused you. I'm sorry. See, this is what happened, I and Lakshmi, when we start talking. Okay, so you are at the
Yeah, so I was going to tailoring. So what happened was, initially when I started when I learned tailoring, the first thing that I did was I started designing my own clothes.
Okay.
So I remember we had this Diwali functions in our festivals in our school, and we were asked to wear color dress on the day. For people who wear uniform, color dress is like something wow. And I used to design all my dresses, which I wore in my 7th standard, 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th standard, and 12th standard. All the 6 years, whatever I wore, I designed my own dress for the occasions. So I wanted to make it my profession, but a lot of reasons it never worked out. So now I want to do something for tailors, for designers. So we have connected with a couple of people. I want to mention a name here. Her name is Sanmita. She studies in Pollachi NGM College. She is a student. She is doing 3rd BA at the moment, but she's an amazing tailor and she has huge vision. So she has started her own, space where she stitches. She designs her own clothes and she sells it. Wow. She has started very small, and we connected during a workshop that I was conducting. I was conducting a creative writing workshop, and we connected through that. And now Pachyderm Tales is planning to start a boutique, very slowly. Wow. We are starting with online boutique.
I just hope I can add that clap, 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 clap in the background. That's really nice. That's really nice.
That is exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to start from villages, from girls who are from, very, very, very normal background, like I am from. And we wanted young talents to come.
Normal has become such a normal thing to talk about now.
Yeah. No, I didn't say poor background, or I didn't say middle class background. I said normal background, because that is the normality, right? Yes. I mean, how many people do we know who are extremely rich? They are there. We can count them in hands.
Yeah.
So you and I are normal.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these are the things that we are doing, and then similarly we are starting a conclave for artists.
Okay.
That's how we are growing. These artist work we are using in our own book covers.
Okay.
So we are able to provide them for our own necessity.
It's very nice. This reminds me of, I don't know if I can quote the name of the brand. There's a textile brand, and it's a well-known brand, and it's a traditional brand over here in India, and especially from Tamil Nadu. And when it's about textile, it comes from the weavers, right? And I really loved this initiative of theirs, wherein they started, if you buy a sari from this particular brand, when you just look at the price, it's just not the price that comes first. It's a weaver's photo and how many days it took for her to do this. What was the idea behind, and where is she from?
I see a lot of such thing in Instagram, and they're brilliant, they're beautiful. Yeah. And again, I bought a sari last week. I do not know whether I can say the brand. It's a Bengal based brand, I'm assuming, because
Okay.
that's how I felt it was. And wonderful saris, the way they created, and then the stories that they tell are so inspiring. More than that's what, we find stories everywhere.
Exactly. And that's
It,
how we connected.
yeah, that's a be connected, because if you sell me if you just tell me that, this is 200 rupees, I'll be like,
I
okay,
think that
fine,
is
so what?
Pachyderm Tubs. If for the viewers here on YouTube, you should definitely see this. That's Pachyderm logo. We would like to see that, Lakshmi, again, the copy one.
Yeah.
Yes. Pachyderm tails. Oh, such a beautiful elephant, the pink fellow.
And if you tell me that this is 200 rupees, I'll be like, okay, there will be no connection. But if you tell me a story behind it, I'll
Yeah.
be present. That's a beautiful concept that we find in Instagram nowadays.
This story, like I think, when I and Lakshmi, just have to make our viewers or listeners clear that when I and Lakshmi go about talking, we pick up so many stories from our real life experiences of what we have heard. So you were talking about this 200 rupees. I remember there was one incident wherein there was after the lockdown or not during the lockdown or sometime, when the gates opened for some time for people to go and buy. And, we had that window of 3-4 months where things were a little okay, not so very tied up. So there was this guy who was walking on the road, and there was a textile shop, and this guy came running, this is only 200 rupees, I need to eat, I don't have things, I can't buy. There was some kind of a story which was building, which was real from his side. But I noticed that the person who was walking by, he didn't bother to listen or he didn't stop. There was yet another person. I think when you go to certain street, you have a lot of these textile shop lined up in one street itself. There was yet another guy who came up with a similar kind of a product in the same range, and he said, "I know you may not want to buy. I know you want to buy something like a pizza and fill your stomach. You might not mind even if you have to spend 1,000 rupees on a pizza. But this 200 rupees or 250 rupees today, what you're going to give, will help us in buying not the pizza, at least 2 kgs of rice for our family." That guy didn't look anywhere. He bought two saris and he went. This really happened. I think what story you narrate, where you narrate also.
Yeah. Where you narrate, how you narrate, everything counts. Yeah.
Lakshmi, see, we've been talking a lot about, see, I understand whatever work you're doing, the value, the services, and the business. We should definitely say that, yes, this is my business, this is the way I'm working. But people always shy away from talking it as a business because they feel if I talk about monetary, will they buy my services? If I talk about monetary, will the people look at what I'm doing? So I see a common thread. You're looking at the need of the person and the need from your end also. How would you connect this need or purpose, vision, and mission?
Hmm. Okay. More than thinking about it as a need, vision, mission, everything, it's just that every one of us know it right from our childhood as to what exactly we want to do and where exactly we want to be. And the best way to approach is through logic, because more than, because most of these things are emotional, like, I like painting, so I paint. That's not how it is for me. I cannot, if I'm angry, for example, I cannot do anything else until and unless I start reading a book, or I connect myself to art. There are people like that. Earlier, I know I shouldn't speak about my personal life, but I was in a relationship before, and I think it sort of, helped me see what I am as a person today. It changed me a lot, in a lot of negative way, because the person whom I was in relationship kept saying that you are mad. And for about 2-3 years, I actually thought I am mad. I went to a psychiatrist, I got medicated. I went through that process. And then finally, at one point in time, I realized whatever they think is mad is not my madness. That is my survival. When I understood that point, I started embracing my madness, the so-called madness that one beautiful thing that happened during the time was I read this book called Veronica Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho. A lot of people think, Alchemist is the be all and end all. But for me, it was this particular book. I would have quoted a literature book like, Nikos Kazantzakis or something. But for me, somehow at that point, I connected so much to Veronica. I thought, okay, that's where I'm going wrong. That's where I'm going wrong. I'm doing something which I'm not happy with doing. Uh, be it professional relationship, be it personal relationship, I have to move away from that space, and I have to set something for my own self. And from the day till today, it's been 10 years now, I can tell you every single day it's about what makes me happy. That's what I've been doing.
Absolutely.
And that happiness, when you stop thinking about money, when you stop thinking about things that you want, material things, it's very difficult. Like, those are the goals, those are the, points. But you just have to put it in the back of your mind, and you should be just doing what you do at this moment, and then you can keep ticking that list automatically. I don't even know how to explain it, but it just happens somehow magically. But when you sort of chase these material dreams, that is where so when people ask me, oh, how do you want to be in 5 years, where do you want to be in 10 years, for me, I don't have those kind of goals, because whatever I wanted to achieve through Pachyderm Tales, I have achieved it in two years. I never thought that 1,000 would be a number that I would be saying in 2 years. But yes, I have 1,000 writers. We have a group of 1,000 writers who have been contributing to us regularly. Now that's a brilliant thing. Because 1,000 was not the number that was initially in my mind. Now when you ask me what is the next number, I do not have a number, because that's it. It will happen on its own.
Even the purpose that you're working, and I think somewhere unconsciously, we will work towards it, and we will ensure that we reach over there. Like you were mentioning about the goals, like, or not exactly the goals, or the needs, like the money, or that particular, that kind of a paycheck, or that kind of a level and position. That's something I think it's quite natural and normal for us to think. But what's happening, Lakshmi, like as you mentioned, right, we want to hit that destination without traveling the journey. For that if we have to get that 1 million, or if we have to reach that particular million club, not just million club, any club for that matter, or that particular outcome that we have in our mind, the journey definitely is required. I mean, we cannot just jump and we say I achieved it. Doesn't work. It does happen sometimes. It has happened for quite a few people or many people, but like I said, it's a short-lived complex. It wouldn't be there for a longer time. And this, you sharing about your personal experiences, I say thank you, or do I say it takes courage to share that? And you made it normal for people to share about what they are, or what anybody goes through or been going through also, for that matter, because these are the few things. Gaslighting kind of a situation, what do you call it as, it is put under the carpet. It's done by many people who are at a higher position in the corporate, or they might be some entrepreneurs also. You may never know. You might have a lot of people who don't even talk about it. You don't have to have that position. It's happening with many homemakers. It's happening with many people. It could happen with anyone for that matter. And you took that step. I mean, all are confident, Lakshmi, but it takes that step to call, whether it's brave or courage for that matter. And when you shared about what you shared, do I say thank you? Do I say I respect? I mean, these are normal things. It goes without saying. I value what you shared. I wish to say that I value what you shared, and this space where you have shared, people who listen to this, to let you know, am I looking at thousands and lakhs of people to just listen to this? I would look at those people who are keen in listening to this. It would make a change. It would create an influence. Nothing like it. Because today, if you have opened it up on a platform where you made it, it's a normal thing. Normalizing is very important. Easy said, easy written, then done. So these gaslighting kind of a situation, my request to the people, whoever are listening to, or if you know of somebody who's going through that, high time that we need to take a break, because it's easy to take all the things around us on our head, but the pressure It's something, or what you call it as a frustration, stress, or the gaslighting situation, something which we are taking it on our head, which is not at all required. The apparatus, which we call it as a head, first of all, is a little bit heavy for the neck to balance. And if we keep feeding it with some more thoughts of these kind, it wouldn't help. Thank you. Yes, I have to say thank you. And it should definitely influence many more people, Lakshmi, who are listening to. And I know you have a very big fan follow. I know very much about that. People reach out to you, Lakshmi Akka, Lakshmi Akka, and that's a kind of that's a kind of a space that you have created, and that's a kind of a space you have allowed for people to create for themselves. And this story of yours, you know, about pachyderms and what you shared should reach many more people. It is not about I getting views on the YouTube or I getting those number of claps and the plays downloaded on the podcasting. No, because my purpose is always to work with this vision, or to transform the words and emotions into stories that would create an emotional and mental well-being. That's a space I work with, and that could be done through writing or storytelling, or through the podcasting, or through traveling, or making a note of the journey of what people have been doing. And I really feel that purpose is meeting with what you shared.
Thank you so much. Now, I need to tell you one thing. People may be wondering, why did she invite her?
No, not
She
at all.
not spoken
I don't
about
want you to think
entrepreneur at all, entrepreneurship at all. She for them.
Meera talk.
Huh?
So it is not like that, Lakshmi. Like, every person goes through it. You may never know, there might be someone who's earning in millions also, who might be at a very, very higher position. They have the name and the fame, they have the organization that they have set from, they have their employees, they have their friends and other family members helping them out. But if they are not talking about what they have been feeding, which is not required to be, it needs to be addressed. I do not want you to go back thinking about that. Not at all. It's my pleasure. It's my honor to have you here on the show. So that's the reason, I just took that liberty of interrupting. No, you're gonna think like that. Lovely, lovely. It's so nice, like Lakshmi, every time, like when I start a show, like it's when I want to end that, yes, I use these lines that I don't want to end, but I still end. But yes, that's the same thing. But after this recording, I'm sure we are going to pull on a call and we have lots more stories to share and talk about. Thank you, Lakshmi. It's such a pleasure and honor for me to talk to you in this Kapi and Conversation. For Lakshmi, I will call it as water and conversation.
Thank you so much, Meera. Thank you for the opportunity.
Before we close, a quick message or experience, like a line or a two, you think, people, you need to hear this. This is what I want to share. What is that?
I don't think I have anything a message to share at all. I don't think I have a message to
You
share.
did that already through our this show, and that beautiful smile says quite a few things. I think I need to end the show and get back to you and ask, what is that? I'm not going to leave you. With that, thank you to all of you, as always, showering me with your blessings and the wishes and the mails and the messages, and lots of WhatsApp also came in yesterday, that they like the show, they like the guest. That's exactly because it's just not my show. It is our show. It is the journey of people whom I have met in person, or we can call it as a virtual meet, or people whom I have seen the way they have been working. And I feel it's very important that we grab that coffee or that tea in our hand. I don't want tea haters look at me and say, you forgot, sorry, tea lovers look at me and say, you forgot tea. So it's for the people who are having tea, who are having coffee, or whatever you're having now. Is just to pause, listen to what you have in your mind, and to appreciate about the excellences that you have within you, because ideas are always born. Ideas will die immediately, or ideas are still born if we do not listen to the idea of what it wants to share with us. That is what is this Kapi and Conversation all about. We'll be back with yet another show with our guest. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi.